Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Minister of Health says National Wellness Day to be the healthiest day in the nation's history. The Minister of Arts and Multiculturalism says Carnival needs to be managed properly so that all stakeholders may benefit financially. And the Finance Minister says discussions with stakeholders are necessary to achieve equity and provide a sustainable outline for Trinidad and Tobago's path to continuous development. Thank you for joining us. Consultations with all stakeholders in the lead-up to this year's budget presentation are said to be ongoing. Finance Minister the Honourable Larry Hawai said discussions with stakeholders are necessary if government is to achieve equity and provide a sustainable outline for Trinidad and Tobago's path to continuous development.
Budget consultations continued this week between the various sectors and its stakeholders, together with Finance Minister Larry Hawai. It's the first one for the former banker turned finance minister, and in seeking the best interests of all citizens and organizations, the minister has called for these meetings in an effort to meet the needs of all groups. Minister Hawai, in meeting with the various stakeholders, explained the importance of such consultations, as well as how it will serve in the formulation of this year's fiscal package and execution of projects.
This is the first budget that I'm trying to put together for the country, and we normally have a pre-budget consultation with stakeholder groups that makes a lot of sense, to get feedback. One of the things I've thought of doing is actually having a post-budget consultation. We recognize that we can't do everything for everybody right away, and I think there's been a bit of a misconception about a budget. I think generally everybody expects that everything will be said and done in the budget and everything will be said and done in the year after the budget. And that's not really how things would actually work in practice. And what I realized as I started to listen to the stakeholder groups is that many things that are being suggested are things that would span several years.
One group meeting with the Minister Artist Coalition welcomed the talks, and head of the group, Rubadira Victor, noted that it was this greater collaboration that was key to the expansion of this sector as a revenue-earning one.
To the credit of this administration, in the last two budgets, 75% of the progressive agenda has been there and in the PSIP and stuff, but nothing has been implemented. The subsectors which we believe could be earning these kinds of things, heritage destinations, that includes the destinations themselves, merchandise, brand and ambient economies around that, could be earning about $1 billion. To do that, you have to create certain core institutions. You have to create something called Project Memory, which traps the memories of the elders whose information and whose pathways are important. You have to have that. You can't build the heritage sites. They're not just brick and mortar. You have to trap the intellectual components that go into that.
The minister also took the time to meet with members of the Employers Consultative Association, where they noted that labour relations was something entwined with the country's financial and national development.
Labour will want the best for the employees, and business will want to make the highest profit. And the both of them come in natural conflict. And the only way that could be resolved is if you find some issues that are collective that they both could agree around. And I think what we have seen, even as we've looked at discussions now that start talking about things like national negotiations, it has centered around national development. So I think the issue of national development is one that business, labour, government must put on the front burner.
However, the minister said government understood the need for discussion among labour, private sector and government in the development of this area.
The industrial piece, if you want to use that term, is very important if we are to have growth in the economy. And I think it's important that both sides, both labour and capital, understand the issues that confront each other and that we all commit ourselves to a win-win situation in arriving at a solution for the challenges that we have.
While the budget date has not been set, consultations will continue for the rest of July as the Finance Minister continues his preparation of the 2012-2013 fiscal package. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
The first track of the album, Going for Gold, was premiered by soca artist and Triple Carnival title holder Machel Montano at the Hyatt Regency, and the album is expected to be released before August 31st. The song and accompanying video are said to be powerful means of promoting Trinidad and Tobago while partnering with the rest of the world. Planning Minister Senator Dr. The Honorable Bo Tawari is applauding the initiative.
Do this, we will build a nation which can hold its head high and be accepted anywhere in the world, and which any other nation will be glad to welcome as a friend.
Now I take national pride, I respect every stride, we come from far and wide.
First track of the album, Going for Gold, being launched at the Hyatt Regency. The very symbolic and inspiring track was well received by the audience, which had members of the crowd totally captivated. The planning minister is explaining the significance of the 50th anniversary celebrations and the concept of the theme, Going for Gold. He says all pride and national interest should be placed on the anniversary celebrations as it plays a key role in helping to identify the great strides the nation has made in achieving true independence. The planning minister says there will be great benefits and much good coming out of the Project Gold. He is also applauding the soca artist on his great delivery of the song. He says it is indeed the ideal piece for the occasion.
But I knew it was a great composition and that it had tremendous harmony, and I know that it had tremendous variation of chords and moods and sensibility. And I knew that it was a moving song, that is to say it can carry people at the level of spirit. And because of that, I told him that we should go ahead and try to make that this theme song. And he has done wonders with it.
Dr. Tawari is explaining that the anniversary celebration is spanning to all various sectors of society, including music, art and culture. He says international superstars will be featured on the album, being compiled by Machel Montano, working with the government to commemorate this country's golden independence anniversary.
We have 10 songs, and we're going to have 10 brilliant songs on that album. All right, and we're going to bring together a number of artists. Machel is a catalyst, he's the principal artist, and he is a star. But we have brought together a number of artists from all over the community in the album that we are doing. And then once that is done, it will carry for a few months, and we'll try to carry it also geographically across the globe. And then we are going to do more things because we intend to build the music industry in Trinidad and Tobago, and we intend to build the creative industries.
Other local artists are also applauding the initiative, saying it is a great way to move the nation forward. Rapso artist Brother Resistance was also at the event and spoke to News 4.
Well, I feel good about the entire project, and I would wish that when we go for gold, it's just the beginning, and it's an indication that the government is going to really invest and motivate the entertainment industry as part of the creative sector for the first time in our history. And let me celebrate 50 years with a good vibration.
Meanwhile, soca artist Machel Montano says the aim is not just to promote Trinidad and Tobago, but rather to embrace and partner with the world. International producers, who Mr. Montano described as some of the best at present, are also working on the album.
50 years of independence is a major milestone, and we plan to use this as, you know, the springboard for the next 50 years to come. This is the moment that we have to rise now and see our greatest potential, and I'm very proud of that.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
Never leave items like MP3 players, portable DVD players, laptops and briefcases on view inside your vehicle. It is an open invitation for a thief. Don't leave them on show. If you cannot take them with you, place them in the trunk of your car. Remember, crime prevention is everyone's business. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Welcome back. Students of UTT have put together this country's first 3D animated game, Crab Catchers, which will be turned into a mobile app. The game was featured as part of Trinidad and Tobago's innovative sector at the launch of this year's World Skills Competition, being put forward by the Ministry of Tertiary Education. Program leader for the ICT department at UTT, John Donaldson Campus, Camille Abraham, says the game will put this country on the global map.
While the gaming industry is faring across the globe, Trinidad and Tobago is emerging into the market. Developed by a group of students from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, the game Crab Catchers can be compared to the popular Super Mario Bros., but with a local twist. As lecturer of the animation course Omar Lewis puts it, the game utilizes 3D stockpile images and has its own mobile app.
We decided to take our guy, the crab catcher, and make him the hero of a video game, which is the first stop-motion animated video game ever for mobile device. Crab Catcher is the hero's journey. It follows the adventures of Crab Catcher as he learns to be a hero and enter the vendor battle. So to do that, he has to catch a bunch of crab, sell them on the highway, and pay the entrance fee to the vendor battle, where he will fight all of his rivals, Soup Man, Nuts Man, Coconut Man, Doubles Lady, Shark and Bait Man, and try to become the strongest vendor in the world. So that's the hero's journey of Crab Catcher. It's the first stop-motion animated video game for a mobile, and it's made right here in TNT.
The game was featured during this year's launch of the World Skills Competition put on by the Ministry of Tertiary Education. Program lecturer at UTT, Camille Abrahams, says it's about putting Trinidad and Tobago on the global map of digital games.
At the University of Trinidad and Tobago, our focus really is on innovation, entrepreneurship, and it's the reason why we get our students to sort of think outside the box. So therefore, it's not just about creating beautiful characters or beautiful background. It's about putting that sort of technology to use where they could actually think about creating things that are financially viable for them. So it really is a platform for innovation.
Demonstrating the game, lecturer Lewis highlighted the features which showcase the aspects of Trinidad and Tobago culture.
This is a demo version of Crab Catcher, and as you can see, this is the first level, and the objective is very simple. Catch as many crab as you can, because he's going to need crab to sell on the highway. As you can see, the red ibis, you go through the red ibis, you get extra time. The red ibis is the national symbol of Trinidad and Tobago. It's also endangered, so you're not allowed to kill them. And he has to catch the blue crab, the red crab. Now in the actual video game, Crab Catcher will not be using his machete on the crab. He'll be putting it in the bag, but this was just a beta version. And this was developed with an alumni of the UTT Animation Diploma named Victor Dalabai. He's actually the programmer for the game. So very simple, casual gaming.
Crab Catchers will be launched later this year at the annual Caribbean Animation Film Festival, Anime Caribe. It's expected that the app will be available for purchase on the international gaming site Steam. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
In other news, plans to campaign against rising obesity and misleading advertising in this country are being put forward by Health Minister Dr. The Honorable Fuad Khan. Now, in an attempt to make citizens more aware of what they consume and the deadly impact it can have on their bodies, Dr. Khan says there will be a National Wellness Day deemed the healthiest day in the nation's history.
A day of national fun and wellness. On August 12th, the Ministry of Health will be hosting the Fight the Fat Trini Food Makeover and National Wellness Day at the Queen's Park Savannah, as groups will compete to win over $35,000 in cash and prizes. Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan says false advertising plays a major role in misleading persons to adopt unhealthy eating habits. As a result, the minister says the Fight the Fat and Obesity drive will make a difference in promoting healthier lifestyles, especially among the children.
Our children, because of what is being fed to them and what the advertising agencies and the advertising of the fast food industry is doing to our children, we are creating a cadre of very obese young children with high cholesterol levels, high sugar levels, and the formation of early childhood diabetes type 2. Our wellness program is here to fight that. When I say fight the fat, I mean fight the obesity.
The event is expected to be full of activities, excitement, and entertainment. The minister says the National Wellness Day consists of 3 main activities: a Fight the Fat Trini Makeover, a Fight the Fat Wellness Feast, and a Fight the Fat 5K walk and run to end things off.
August the 12th, I want to invite everyone on behalf of the Ministry of Health to the Queen's Park Savannah, where we will have prizes, we will have activity, and as we said, Fian, Bungie, Sherwin-Winchester, Gerard and Long Circle and other areas and agencies will be partaking in that movement of exercise. We are going to have a 3-hour burnout session from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and also a 5K walk for families. What we are trying to promote is the way forward, the fight back against what is happening to the population. We need people to eat more vegetables. We need people to be more active. We need everything to be done in this manner.
For registration information on the Trini Food Makeover competition, persons can call 627-1047. Companies will compete for great cash prizes and participate in fun aerobic burnouts and free screening checks, including BMI, blood glucose sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, and HIV. Vuna Bharat, News 4.
Wayne Cunningham has a sport report right after the break.
Dads aren't the only ones who beat up on kids. Sometimes kids beat up on kids.
Every child has the right to be protected from violence, abuse, and neglect.
Because I shouldn't be afraid to go to school or play with my friends.
Because no child should be hurt by adults or by other children.
Because safety is my right. Stop the bullying.
Unite for children.
On Tuesday night at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, the Trinidad and Tobago under-17 football team started its quest for qualification to the 2013 FIFA World Cup, which will be staged in the United Arab Emirates. The young Warriors, coached by Sean Cooper, faced the British Virgin Islands, and it turned out to be a mismatch of mammoth proportion. Wayne Cunningham has the highlights from a goal fest.
It was the calm before the storm during the first 10 minutes of the Caribbean Football Union under-17 World Cup qualification match between Trinidad and Tobago and the British Virgin Islands. But following that, it literally rained goals. American-born Andre Fortune opening the scoring in the 10th minute with a neat strike after the BVI keeper fumbled the Shannon Gomez cross. 3 minutes later, it was 2-0. Gomez was the man causing the problem once again as Jabari Mitchell taps in for the first of his 3 goals. The cross came from the other side of the pitch for goal number 3. Kishon Sicharan doing the finishing. The supplier of that cross, Brent Sam, then got in on the action for goals 4 and 5. The pace of the TNT players was too much for the BVI, as Sicharan demonstrates to notch the 6th. Speed was also the factor for goal number 7, as Akeem Garcia left his marker standing before rounding the keeper. The 8th goal represented a hat-trick for Brent Sam. That was in the 38th minute. 2 more would be added before the break to make it 10-0 in favor of Trinidad and Tobago. The BVI's problems resumed as early as the 2nd minute of the second half, when Mitchell was bundled over in the area. Captain Brendan Creed easily dispatched the resulting penalty for goal number 11. Three more goals came in quick succession to make it 14-0. Substitute Matthew Wu Ling doing the honours here. Then it turned into the Brent Sam show. He scored in the 60th, 70th and 71st minutes as the score continued to climb. Sam notching 7 goals on the night. By the 80th minute, the score was a score. Akeem Andrews scoring his 2nd in spectacular fashion. Goals continued to flow, and the rout was ended 2 minutes from the final whistle, with Leah Adams scoring his 2nd item for the night. The final score, a whopping 23-0. The local squad will face a tougher test versus Suriname on Thursday, when the tournament continues at the Atto Boldon Stadium in Couva. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
23-0, a goal fest indeed. Moving away from sport, Carnival needs to be managed properly so that all stakeholders may benefit financially. These are the sentiments of the Minister of Arts and Multiculturalism, Dr. the Honorable Lincoln Douglas.
We're at the place, I think, where Carnival has to move to the next level. My understanding of the next level is that we have a number of cultural artifacts here in Trinidad and Tobago that needs to be synchronized into a complete product that we could benefit from. As it exists in Trinidad and Tobago, most of us just jump up and play mass. There might be some people making money, but when all of them come to me, they tell me they don't make no money. All the people who making mass, who making calypso, everybody say, we don't make no money, you know, Minister. So if nobody is making money in Trinidad and Tobago, and all of this activity is happening, then something is wrong. You wouldn't say so?
Speaking on his tour of the Southern National Academy for the Performing Arts, Dr. Douglas insists that Carnival doesn't always have to rhyme with Bacchanal. He says carnivals all over the world are well planned and managed. He's calling on persons who have experienced such carnivals to come forward and assist in making ours the best in the world.
We have the necessary skills in Trinidad and Tobago. There are a number of qualified people. There are people who have experienced the production of art and mass at the highest level all over the world. And we need to bring those kind of management skills to bear on Carnival so that it can be organized into a meaningful and a productive experience. This is not a very big country, you know. This is not even a small city in some parts of the world that have huge celebrations. So if there are people participating in those kinds of experiences and they have that kind of knowledge, I would like them to show themselves in Trinidad and recommend and suggest to me how we could make Carnival into a total experience where all these people who say that they don't make money, they could make some money, and Trinidad can become the capital of this thing that we've been doing for the last 50 years.
Meanwhile, Dr. Douglas answered his critics who say the franchising of Carnival to foreigners will damage the originality of the festival.
We are not selling or giving away anything. They are participating with our people to make something better. What we're talking about here is management skills. The ability to run something is standard almost anywhere you go. The cultural knowledge related to that, we possess that. That is our patrimony. We own the cultural knowledge about what Carnival is. We own the spirit of Carnival. We own the spirit of Calypso. We own the spirit of Pan. We own that. We own the spirit of Chutney, the spirit of Tassa, the spirit of Pichikari. We own all of those things. So no foreigner could come here and tell us how to play pan or how to make mass or how to do chutney or husse or anything like that. Those are the things that we own. What we're talking about here is management skills.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.